Hey guys, I'm John. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm reviewing an interaction that I had with a guy a few weeks ago outside Rogers Place. He was just going to the hockey game with his kid, and I asked him, hey, do you support Alberta independence? And he said no. But I think that when it comes to this issue, there are people who are entrenched on both sides, and then there are people who are kind of right in the middle. And I think this guy is actually right in the middle on this issue. And so I want you to watch this video with me and review the interactions, and then help me figure out how we should be having these conversations with people who are kind of right on the fence with this. Because if we're going to win this referendum, then we got to start figuring out how to reach the people in the middle.
Hey, can I ask your opinion on Alberta independence? Don't do it? Why not? Are you from Alberta? Yeah, well, you got an opinion. What is it?
That we should find out a way to stay.
We should stay?
Yeah.
Well, can I just have a polite conversation with you for a few minutes? I make YouTube videos. I'm just a guy.
So I just want to point out something here. This is the actual camera that I use. It's a GoPro with a big giant mic on it. And, you know, I could just walk up to anybody in public and shove this in their face. If you're in public, you do not have a reasonable expectation of privacy. People are recording you everywhere. If you don't want to be recorded, you can cover your face and walk away, right? But having the right to do something doesn't mean that you should do it. Obviously, I am insistent on having polite conversations with people because I genuinely want to hear their views. I want to have good interactions with people. And so that's why I'm super polite with this guy.
I'm just a guy asking people. So I mean, obviously I support it, but what's that? Well, so what makes you optimistic that things will get better in Canada?
I don't know if I'm optimistic it'll get better.
Can I come closer?
Not sure.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm optimistic it'll get better, but
okay.
I think we're better off trying to make Canada better instead of making Alberta better alone.
So right there is why I think this guy is in the middle on this issue. He says he doesn't think he's optimistic on things getting better for Canada, but then he also says, I think things are going to get better if we're together. And obviously that's a contradiction. You know, to be fair, I'm kind of putting him on the spot here. So maybe he's had some time to formulate this a little bit since talking to me, and he's made up his mind. But I think a lot of people who are in the middle in this issue have never really thought that it's actually possible for us to become independent. They've never entertained the idea. And so to just spring it on them, it's kind of a shock. And so the default reaction is to just say, yeah, I think, you know, Canada is a big country, rah for patriotism. But how do we reach out to these people when this is their response? Please leave a comment below.
So, like, would you support the CPC then? You think that if they get elected, they could fix the problems?
I think it's a start.
Okay. Because, I mean, a lot of people who are against independence, who are still conservative, they're like, yeah, let's just vote government in conservative and then maybe they'll fix things. But
I think my opinion might change in another election or two if it keeps going this way, but for now.
Yeah, I mean, Polyev had some good ideas, and I honestly.
And then, so a common argument that I hear from a lot of people who are opposed to independence is they say, you know what, we can still fix Canada. We'll just vote for another conservative government. This time we'll get a majority, a super majority, and we'll fix all the problems. And that's kind of the old tried and failed argument that we've been going through for the last, like, my entire life. We've wanted into Canada. And so I seeded this into this guy's mind because I thought that that might be a good kind of thing to get the conversation going. And his response was interesting.
Do you think that was a fair election? Like, do you think some shady business happened?
Not necessarily, but I think it's proven that the O'Toole loss was fixed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with O'Toole, it seems like they deliberately sabotaged it. But Pierre was like riding high, and he was doing so well. And then it's like...
No, I think it was genuinely older generations that supported Carney.
Yeah.
100%. People that you wouldn't think would do so, or they jumped on the anti-Trump bandwagon.
So give me a tinfoil hat here, okay? I know it sounds like a bit of a conspiracy theory, and just part of me doesn't want to think that Canada could ever sink to the level where our elections are actually being rigged. The way that they do it in like Venezuela and places like that. But then again, I look at all the things that have happened, all the hate speech laws that are coming in and censoring the internet, and how they treated the truckers during the convoy, and the Supreme Court says that it was all illegal and there's no consequences, and it's just scandal after scandal for 10 years, and we're just so numb to all of it. Yeah, maybe it is actually possible that our last election was rigged, And the comment that he made about O'Toole, I think that they stuffed O'Toole in there just to have a body, and everybody knew he didn't have it in him to be a leader. So, I don't think that was like a big fraudulent thing, but maybe just some inside people thought, let's put him in there and then help Trudeau win. I don't know, maybe, right? But it's just so disheartening, to see how the Conservatives were leading in the polls, leading up right till the final bitter end. And then the whole thing just flipped. And flipped for what? We got the exact same party, all the same bodies, except for one guy at the top. And that just swayed everybody's mind. Let's all just get back in line and vote for this guy. So, I don't know. Tell me, should I put a tinfoil hat on? Or do you honestly think that maybe some kind of funny business happened in that last election?
The anti-Trump. Okay, so a lot of people who are against Alberta independence, they one of the things they say is like, Trump's going to take us over, the state's going to take us over. Do you share that opinion?
No, it's rhetoric to
so you're not scared about the Americans taking
seniors to vote for a strong liberal party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, do I look like a Maple Leafs fan with this shirt on? Oh my God.
Yeah, better fix that.
Hey, God bless you. Take care. Have a good game.
So that's so interesting too, right? Because he doesn't buy into this whole anti-Trump, orange man bad, let's hate the Americans argument that the CBC and the mainstream media has been pushing on Canadians for the last couple of years. And this is why I think he's probably in the middle on this, because it's basically I've fed him all of the big arguments against my own position. Because I want to genuinely have a conversation and see what he thinks about it. And it's like, he agrees with me. He's like, yeah, Trump isn't this big scary guy. Look guys, he's got 3 years left or 2.5 years left, and then he's gone, and then somebody else will get in there. And, but they keep pushing this narrative that, they want us to be the 51st state. People who are opposed to this, we can't tell them enough times that that's not what we want. That's not what we're voting on, and it's not even something that's possible. But, people just have this narrative in their head, and they can't get away from it. And so I found it really surprising that he is opposed to independence, but why? Right? So I keep trying to find out, why are you opposed to this?
Hey, there you go. That was an interesting perspective. A guy who's opposed to it, but not because he's buying into this whole Trump is bad kind of argument. I'm going to walk back this way.
So, do you think that this guy is in the middle on this issue? Is there anything that we could say to him that would change his mind and, bring him over to our side? I think there probably is. Please leave a comment below. And also, please let me know what you think about this new format that I'm trying. I'm going to make all these kind of commentary videos into their own playlist. And I'm still definitely going to be doing my long form videos out in public. But I just got this idea today because it's minus 28 outside, and I'm sitting inside here. I'm like, I want to do something. So please let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey, what's your opinion on Alberta independence?